This is the plaintiff, Linda Brown. She says she purchased a stove from the defendants, and when she had it hooked up, the gas company red flagged it. The thing had a dangerous gas leak. These people of no moral character put her in harm's way, and she's suing for the $287.82 she says she's owed. These are the defendants, Megan and Lucas. Megan says the woman came to their house. She tested the stove and the burners for about 30 minutes, and she bought the stove. It worked perfectly fine. They have no idea what the plaintiff did to the thing when she moved it or hooked it up, and they owe her nothing because a sale is a sale. They're accused of getting a customer all hot.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says she bought a stove from the defendant that was really unsafe, and she's actually lucky to be here. It was such a fire hazard. But the defendant says she came to their house, tested the stove, bought it. End of story. It's the case of getting a customer hot.
Thank you, Douglas.
You are welcome.
All right, Ms. Brown, you were in the market to buy a stove and you wanted to buy a used one to save some money, so you saw an advertisement on Facebook Marketplace that the defendants had up, correct?
Correct.
And how much did you agree to pay for the stove?
The stove was $175, but when he came to deliver it, we didn't have change, so we just gave him $180.
Okay. And had you gone to his house to test the stove before buying it?
Correct. I went to the house, and they attached the stove to this device here. I don't know if you can see it, but you hook it up to one of them gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. So, and when we turned on the stove wasn't turned on for 30 minutes. When I turned the top burner on, they kept insisting, like I said, I wanted to try all of the burners, and they kept insisting, which Lucas said, he said, oh, shut it off, just shut it off. And
what? Shut it off? Why?
I don't know. It didn't really click on me to know why he wanted me to just shut it off.
That didn't raise a suspicion? You want me to draw a suspicious conclusion from that? You want me to draw the conclusion that he knows the burners wouldn't stay on? Why didn't you draw that conclusion while you were there?
I don't know. I guess I was just happy about finding a stove that possibly was going to work. Then when we got the stove, when he delivered the stove, the following day, they came out, and all the public utilities came out and hooked it up. And the guy said the burners would not stay lit. The top burner would burn, and then it would just shut off, and gas would just keep coming out of it.
Let me hear from you folks, Megan and Lucas. Who wants to talk first?
I will, sure.
Go ahead.
So I posted the ad on Facebook Marketplace.
Why were you selling it?
We purchased a property, and it came with the property, and we didn't need it. It didn't fit in our space.
We purchased a property, it came with the property, but it didn't fit in our space. It was in your space before you were.
Yeah.
So how did it not fit in your space?
It's a small mobile home.
We live it's a mobile home, and they had a full-size stove, and we wanted to change to
okay. All right.
a size stove.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I posted it on Facebook Marketplace, and Linda reached out to me, said she was interested. So I called her, set up the next day. Was it the next day? About a couple days to come and look at it, make sure it worked. He turned on the burners. She stayed to make sure the oven heated up and everything. Said yes, she was definitely interested. Asked if we could drop it off to her the next day. Lucas drove up, dropped it off to her. She asked if we could stay to install it, but we don't really know how to install the gas lines and all that, so we said no.
Did you ever test the stove to see if it worked at your place?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was, why was she saying that you hooked it up to a little gas thing? What was she talking about?
The previous owners had it hooked up to a little propane tank.
Okay.
So we just hooked it up to the same propane tank, turned it on, showed her it worked.
Why did you have to hook it up? What were you using to cook before you sold it?
We were renovating. We weren't living here
okay.
yet.
Living in the space yet.
We were gutting and redoing the property. When she came here, we didn't even have floors down.
Have you had a repairman come and look at it and see what it would take to fix? What's the problem with it, Ms. Brown?
No, because the Norwich Public Utilities red tagged it. They said it was too dangerous for
I read what
to...
they wrote, and I do see that you got something from them. I didn't see where they said it was too dangerous to whatever. What I see is that they say that the burners wouldn't stay lit. Yeah. And were you turning off, Mr. Lucas, were you turning off the stove when it would be on, off and on, off and on while she was testing it?
No, I lit every burner and the oven, but we're inside a small space with no ventilation, so I turned it off.
Okay, so you were turning it off. So she didn't have it running 30 minutes.
No, we had it running. I would heat up the oven for her.
No, but she says that you kept saying, turn it off. And you're telling me, yeah, I did because it's a small space and I was worried. I'm actually now worried based on your answer.
No, it was just, why keep it lit more than, so many minutes?
Well, what's the so many minutes, Mr. Lucas? That's what I'm asking you. What is the so many minutes?
It worked. What was the point?
Are you going to answer me or no? Megan, why don't you look at me and tell me what was the so many minutes?
I'm not sure. I was in and out of the room. I was also doing other renovations in another room. I do have a witness with me that was in the room when he was testing it and helped him, had it all hooked up.
Okay, who's the witness?
My stepdad.
Your stepdad?
My stepdad.
Let me talk to your stepdad.
Yes. Sure.
Can you raise your right hand, sir? Thank you.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Jeremy Zimmerman?
Okay, Mr. Zimmerman, were you there during the testing?
Yes.
What went down? Just tell me what happened.
We had hooked it up to the propane tank, and we probably let it run for like 3 to 4 minutes.
All right, and then at the end of the 3 or 4 minutes, Mr. Lucas said turn it off?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, they were lit completely. I mean, I saw no sense in letting it run for 20, 30 minutes.
Okay.
They lit, they were running perfectly fine, roughly 3 minutes, shut it down.
Okay, so here's the report from the gas company, from the public utility. Hooked gas to used stove. Turn on stove and the burners wouldn't stay lit. Why do you suppose that happened? Can you illuminate me on that?
They ran perfectly fine when Lucas had turned it on and she had watched it.
I mean, because this is like an independent witness, a utility company saying she's not making it up, that, they won't stay lit. Now, typically speaking, this is an as-is sale, and with an as-is sale, you need to test it when you're at the place and make sure that you want it. The only thing that's bothering me is this statement that Lucas said, well, there's no need to keep running that, and then it turns out that the things don't stay on. That's a little suspicious to me, I'll be honest with you.
And I just want to say that they didn't allow me to keep the stove lit. Not even for 3 minutes. It might have been...
So why'd you buy it? Can I ask you that? Because you're a grown woman, and if you feel like I should draw the negative inference from them not letting you test it properly, why don't you turn around and walk out?
I don't know. Maybe
right.
I just thought I was
I have a problem both ways. I have a problem with you telling me they wouldn't let me test it, so I went and bought it. I mean, that's nuts. The other thing that bothers me is the fact that you have not had a repairman come and give you a quote for what if it's a $50 repair? Why would you be entitled to a refund on the whole thing? If it's like you haven't had a repair person come and give you an estimate on the repair. Megan, did you guys use that kitchen or that, let me rephrase that. Megan and only Megan, did you guys use that stove at any time after you bought the house?
No, we hadn't moved in yet. We just know that the previous owners had said it worked. They were cooking on it one day when we were first looking at the property before we gutted it. But we never personally cooked on it, no.
Ms. Brown, it's hard for me to conclude that they knew it wouldn't stay lit, in the circumstances of this case where they bought the place, they never cooked in it, and they just wanted to get rid of it because they're renovating. I'm not sure why that thing didn't work. I mean, it could be as simple as that's a propane stove that you bought and you have natural gas, in which case you just need a different kind of connection. You just need an adapter. I think you should try to have someone else from the gas company come and/or have a professional come and take a look at it and see what's wrong with it. But you
Yeah,
haven't
but
been able to prove
I
to me
didn't.
that they knew they sold you a faulty stove. Verdict for the defendant.
This is another case where, again, an as-is sale, the only way to undo it is fraud. And a situation like this, especially when you buy something that could present a hazard to you, get something in writing, a simple warranty, even just saying, look, this stove does not in any way create a fire hazard. At least that's something to hang your hat on.
If my unleashed cat hurts my neighbor's unleashed dog, am I liable? They both weigh around 10, maybe 12 pounds.
That depends on the jurisdiction that you live in. There's actually plenty of jurisdictions now that require your cat to be leashed outdoors.
Right, or that don't specify differences between cats and other animals. So
Right, no, and some that actually say, no, it's a cat, put it on a
your
leash.
ferret, whatever it might
which
be.
Is,
right.
you know, which is kind of interesting because I know cat you and I have ever owned would ever be on a leash.
That's not really fair to cats.
No,
they don't
because
take
their
to the
only
leash
defense
well.
mechanism are those nails,
Right.
And they usually bolt. They don't usually attack dogs. It's not, you know, haven't you seen Tom and Jerry?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
but could there be liability?
I guess there
suppose
could be
so. Why not?
circumstances where the person could be liable. It really just does depend on the jurisdiction.
Right. A cat can bite a dog, can scratch a dog, can hurt a
You're
dog.
going to be
especially if they're that
liable.
little.
You will be liable if and only if there is a leash law.
Right.
And you didn't obey it. That's when you'll be liable.
Yeah.
We don't punish the cats for their conduct. We don't punish dogs for their conduct. We punish the adults for what they failed to do.
And there's some tough cats out there.
That's right.
My cat Clark used to fight with raccoons, stray cats, anything that would come along, he would take them on.
We once the vet found a BB lodging, and we didn't even know he got shot.
Yeah, maybe a drive-by.
That was a tough
Somebody
cat.
capped him.
That was a tough cat.
Right in the rib. It was still in there. Yeah.